5 things that you should always be aware of before doing any real estate investment deal or transaction. What's going on, guys? It's Kwak, your real estate investor coach and mentor, and in this video I want to share with you guys 5 things that you should always be aware of and know before doing any real estate investment deal or transaction. Now, the way that I put these 5 things together is through my observation of my own trainees and students who bring deals to me to look at. And these 5 things that I'm about to share with you guys tend to be missed when these new and up-and-coming investors check on deals and do their due diligence as far as making sure if it's a good deal or not a good deal. So the number one thing that you should always know about a real estate investment deal is the property taxes. So a way for you to check the property taxes is through the county tax assessor's website. There, you can look up your property through the address or the PIN. Now, I did mention the word PIN, which actually stands for Parcel Identification Number, which is a set of numbers that your tax assessors use to identify the property. Now, you want to make sure that there aren't 2 separate PINs for a given property, because if you only see one and later on you find out there's another one halfway through your deal, now you're hit with an expenses that you didn't expect, and it could throw off your entire deal out the window. So always check to see if there are 2 PINs or even 3 PINs for the matter, so that you're not hit with surprises down the road and it can ruin your deal. Now, you also want to check to see if there are any backed taxes, because any taxes that weren't paid in the previous years, as you become the owner of the property or you take on the deed, you are responsible for the back taxes. So check to see if there are back taxes. Make sure the taxes are current and the previous owners have been paying, and make sure that there aren't 2 PINs for a given property, because you don't want 2 separate bills or you don't want surprises down the road. And 3, you want to make sure that property taxes make sense to your deal, because if your property taxes are way too high, of course, it could affect your rent, it could affect how much your holding cost is going to be, and lots of different variables out there. So always check the taxes and be aware what that is. Number 2, make sure your property is running on a 100 amp electrical breaker. The reason why you want to make sure you have a 100 amp breaker is because most insurance companies will actually want you to have a 100 amp electrical breaker in order for the property to be insured. Now, it's not a really big deal if your property is running on gas stove, gas furnace, gas heater. But if the majority of your appliances are run on electricity, you want to make sure you are upgrading your breaker box into 100 amp. So in order for the insurance to cover you, you got to have 100 amp breaker. And plus, if you have appliances that are run on electricity, you want to make sure you have 100 amp breaker. Otherwise, you're going to run into constant circuit trips, which is something that you don't want. Number 3, check your comps and always know your exit strategy. Now, this is something that the new investors do get trained on, but sometimes they lack the experience or they try to skew the numbers to make the comps work. So here's a key tip for all of you guys. Never force the deal to work. Don't ever, fudge the numbers. Don't add things that you shouldn't be adding in the comps. And for those who are watching, some of you guys might not know what a comp is. A comp is a comparable, which actually takes on the factor of different properties that were sold recently in the vicinity area, wherever the property may be located in, and checking to see how much the property is going to be worth after it's repaired. So another key term to know is the after repair value, also known as the ARV. So when you check your comps, make sure that the property, your deal, has the same amount of bedrooms in the bath as you're comparing home. Make sure it's got similar square footage, if not, within 100 to 50 square footage difference. And you also want to make sure that the property is not too far away. The comparing property is not too far away from your subject property that you're working on. So it really depends on the location. If you're in Chicago, like I am, properties can differ from block to block. Sometimes the numbers can jump up and down depending on where you are or what side you are in the neighborhood. Things can always change. So know your area, know what comps you're using, because if you're using poor comps, such as different bedroom numbers, different bath numbers, the type of property, then it's really not going to work. Also, you want to make sure the era that the property is built in, because you don't want to compare a property that's built in 1910s versus 1990 property. You're going to see you're definitely going to see different numbers and different maintenance requirement for the 2 separate properties. So make sure you do the comps correctly. Don't add properties in there to make the numbers look nice and raise the ARV. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and it's not a good deal. And also to add to the point, always know your exit strategy. Is it a flip? Is it a buy and hold? Is it a fix and hold? Know what you're looking for, right? Know what the end is before walking into a deal, because you walk into a deal, it's already too late. You should already know what the exit strategy is going to be, how you're going to make the money, how your investors getting paid back if you have investors, what are your refinancing strategies. So you should have contingent plan A, B, and C, just in case plan A doesn't work, plan B doesn't work, or even plan C doesn't work. So always have your exit strategies in mind and do your comps correctly and never force the deal, okay? Number 4, why is the owner selling? I know this sounds like an obvious one, but a lot of the new and up-and-coming real estate investors tend to miss this fact and never really ask the owner, why are you selling? Right? So it's really important for you to ask because, well, A, it gives us information about how we might be able to get into the deal creatively, right? Some creative strategies that we can use, like subject to, contract for deed, owner financing, lots of beautiful strategies out there. But you also want to ask because there might be some problems or defects to the property. And by law and per contract, the seller does have to disclose any defects or problems that the property is having, such as foundation issues. Are there cracks in the foundation? Are there issues with the AC unit? Are there issues with the roof that the owner is aware of? So you want to ask because it identifies a problem early on and also gives you information about how you might be able to go get into the deal by satisfying the owner's desires of moving or whatever the owner wants as far as selling their property. And it also helps to ask multiple times, why are you selling? At first they might give you some simple, answer, not a whole lot of details, but the moment you keep asking, why are you selling, they might actually give you some more information about, as to the property information, their life details, their backgrounds, are they getting a divorce? Are they moving? Are they retiring? So you always want to know, why is the owner selling, which gives you a good, strong basis as to how you may be able to build your exit strategy, how you can structure the deal so that it actually makes sense for you to do the deal. Obviously, if you find out there are some serious problems like cracks in the foundation or the house is tilting or it's selling, you want to make sure you're aware of that before you walk into the deal so that you don't see surprises and all of a sudden you owe $10,000 for you to fix the foundation or any other major problems that the property is facing. Number 5, last but not least, are there any liens on the property and is the title clean? So for those who don't know what a lien is, it's a public notice to let everyone know that there is either a debt or money owed on the property. So one of the common liens that I see on a real estate deal is a mechanic's lien, which is actually filed by the contractors after he or she has done the work on the property but was never paid for. So the previous owner hired a contractor to do the work but never paid the contractor after the work has been done. So the contractor goes and files a lien against the property, so any new owner that takes over is fully responsible and is obligated to pay for the lien. So be aware and make sure to check that there aren't any liens like that on the given property, because once you get into the deal and buy the real estate property, and if there's a lien, you are fully responsible in paying for the lien regardless if you were the one who hired the contractor or not. So same thing goes for back taxes, which we call a tax lien, right? Mechanics lien, and there may be other minor liens out there that can be placed on the property that could obstruct the title from being clean. So you always make sure you do a title search to make sure that the title is clean, and make sure there's no liens by checking the public records of that property. So those are the 5 things that you should always know before you're doing any real estate deals and any transactions. And I hope that this video will help you a lot by avoiding some pitfalls along the way. And I wish you luck in your real estate investment career. So if you're wanting additional coaching and mentoring from me, I am actually looking for qualifying candidates and trainees to work with me and my team. So if you'd like to apply as a candidate, there's a link down below that you can apply for. Or if you have any other questions about this video, go ahead and comment down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can provide you guys with more real estate tips and coaching down the road. Thanks for watching, guys.